Oracle NetSuite is one of the leading ERP solutions for the small and mid-market, but I want to learn a little bit more, not about features and functions of NetSuite, but more about the faces and the brains behind the company. So I'm here in San Francisco, California, or in the San Francisco area, and I'm going to go inside the Oracle NetSuite headquarters here to meet with some of the executives to learn more about the company, the product, the vision of the organization, and just to learn more about this company called Oracle NetSuite. Let's go. Hi, Carrie.
Hey, Eric.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So what do you do here in NetSuite?
I'm the Group Vice President of Marketing and also Chief of Staff to Evan Goldberg, our founder and EVP.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping to meet him today while we're here.
I think that can be arranged.
You can make that happen?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for taking me around here, around the campus and around to meet some of the executives here. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
You mind if we start walking?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about what you do in your role in marketing.
Sure. So I have kind of a broad umbrella, but within marketing, I am responsible for our events team, who put on events like Suite World and all of our external events. I also have the communications and customer marketing team, so internal and external communications, as well as working with our customers to help us tell their stories and participate in our events. And then I also have the web design and development team and our social impact team, who works with our nonprofit customers, helping them use NetSuite to achieve their missions. And then, as I mentioned, as Evan's Chief of Staff, that's a lot to cover. I don't know if we have time to talk about what all that entails, but basically just helping Evan do what he does in
Right.
leading NetSuite.
Yeah, that's great. What made you decide to join NetSuite?
So I joined NetSuite 12 years ago, before the acquisition, and I worked for a marketing agency supporting NetSuite. And what immediately drew me to NetSuite was the customer centricity and the just pure excitement on the NetSuite side and on the customer side about NetSuite's customers. We have some of the most innovative and coolest customers I know. My family actually gets sick of me constantly saying, "Oh, they're a NetSuite customer, they're a NetSuite customer."
A lot of logos.
A lot of logos, over 38,000. So yeah, it truly struck me. I worked at the second Suite World, and just how customer-centric to the core NetSuite was. Literally every aspect of the conference was about the customer. Right. And that, permeates through the entire culture and everybody working at NetSuite. We're all really, really excited about our customers and the cool things that they do and how we can support that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So when I came in, I noticed this boat right here. What's the story here with the Oracle themed boat?
Yeah, so this yacht is over 20 stories tall and won the America's Cup in 2010 and was actually, I think that was in Valencia, but the boat itself was airlifted in via helicopter to the lagoon. Yeah, and in the same way in our Austin office, we have a Oracle Red Bull racing car also airlifted in via helicopter. So cool, speedy things at all of our campuses.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So when you think about the leadership team here that you're going to introduce me to and take me around the campus here to meet some of your team, how would you describe the leadership team in general, the sort of the culture of the organization and the leadership in particular?
Yeah, I think, our leadership team, you'll meet them all, and they're all different in their own way, but I would say the true kind of common denominator and the common thread is our entire leadership team puts themselves in our customers' shoes and really tries to approach all of our business decisions, our business strategy from the point of view of how will this impact our customers and how can we make this better for our customers.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, do you mind if we go in and start to meet some of the
Let's go.
team here?
Yeah.
So who are we going to see first?
We're going to see Sam Levy, who is our SVP of Growth and Operations. And Sam leads up our growth strategy, go-to-market, sales efforts, the whole 9 yards.
Great. He's been in the space for a long time, so I look forward to catching up with him.
Great. Well, he's right over here.
Great.
Eric.
Sam, good to see you.
Yes, likewise. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. What are you working on here?
You know, this was one of my overnight visions. I just got done with Legos here, but no, not really. This is one of our newest campaigns we're launching. Business Grows Here. It's this whole city effect of how NetSuite goes to Main Street all the way to Wall Street.
Oh, cool.
So it's going to be a real interesting campaign you'll see coming out.
So it's representative of the types of customers that you guys are working with, and
Exactly. You know, it's a campaign we've launched called Business Grows Here, and we're going really into towns all across the U.S. And what we're doing is we're taking business campaigns to these smaller cities. We're going to start in Nashville and St. Louis. We're going to go to Austin. We'll be in Indianapolis. And what they are really is working with the local communities. And you saw that a little bit about our campus here. We're working with nonprofits. We're working for-profit business. We're working with the local government. And whether it be mayors and governors, for instance, in Nashville, we'll have customers come in and talk about their journeys, but then we'll also have a lot of entrepreneurs that are there to learn about how they build their business in their local community. And so you'll see this series go throughout FY25 for us and cover probably 20 to 25 different cities in the U.S.
very cool. So this is all representative of the types of customers and the tangible products and services they provide.
Yeah. You know, I'm looking here, I'm thinking the pet store owners to the coffee shops to the food restaurants, even the chief ring officer or the chief door officer. I don't know if you know Jamie Simonoff. He was the founder of Ring. A lot of people have it in their house. Jamie's going to come and talk about his new adventure in the Midwest, talking about door and latch and what he's doing there.
Oh, very cool. So what do you do? Tell us a little bit about what you do here at NetSuite.
Yeah, so I'm the Senior Vice President of Growth and Operations. And I look after really everything related to the customer. Okay. And whether that's attracting new customers to come to NetSuite and working with the field engagement all the way through the customer success and that journey of expansion, how they use the application. And most importantly, it's got to tie into the one Oracle strategy. And so putting that all together is really important for us. And that's what's been consuming all my days and nights.
Yeah. So you're talking about your customers. You've got this campaign that visualizes and sort of demonstrates your customers and how they fit into the world around us. How would you describe the ideal NetSuite customer if you had to sort of generalize?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting when you look at the customer base today. We're probably 38,000 customers. And a lot of our customers started as Main Street. And that was kind of like a big vision. So it's kind of like who's our customer today is anyone, anywhere, and everywhere. And so it's kind of really interesting as we look into that piece of it where, you know, years ago we would be maybe in little markets. And today NetSuite is so ubiquitous within ERP and applications. We've kind of branched back out to say where business grows here is with NetSuite. Right. And for a lot of those businesses that are small or medium or large, they come to us just for that matter. They want to grow their retail operation if they're a products company, or if they're a high-tech company. That ideal company is someone that's fast growing that perhaps wants to go public and go to Wall Street.
Right. So because you're in charge of growth then and customer acquisition growth, what are some of the highest growth areas that you're working on or targeting for the company?
Well, if I had my vision, I don't think I'd tell everybody about this one. Right. But there is certain industries that grow faster than others, but that's a little cyclical in nature. You know, where it used to be high tech and every software company could open its doors and receive a lot of funding. But today, if you looked at them high tech, it's really around AI. And probably the AI companies you're seeing out there, I want to say 60% of the AI companies that get funding today at a large scale all run NetSuite. And so high tech and AI is still a big piece of it. But the next big one is services. So I think about intermodal transportation or movements of goods and services from warehousing and distribution, third-party logistics,
Supply chain type solutions.
all the supply chain issues are still, there's still big issues today for a lot of companies that we're targeting.
Yeah, yeah. So since NetSuite's been acquired by Oracle many years ago, you were here before NetSuite was acquired, correct?
Yeah.
How has the customer acquisition strategy changed, or has it changed since Oracle acquired NetSuite?
Yeah. Well, I think Oracle brought a different focus for NetSuite back in the acquisition days. This is 2016. The acquisition strategy has evolved, but it's really just scaled. So our acquisition strategy when we were acquired was roughly about 11,000 customers. And today, if you look at it, 38,000 customers, Oracle's done a good job investing in our go-to-market, our marketing, and our customer success. So one of the ways we do that was the land motion. And land was all about acquiring new customers. How do we come to Main Street and build solutions around versions or products that help companies out of the box get to where they need to be? Right. And most of it was around automation. For the smallest businesses, they want to automate and get efficient. The expand side of the strategy was after you land the customer, you expand them, was really focused on how can we help these companies grow? And what are the tools and solutions they need to grow? And for a lot of our customers, that built on the suite. They started with financials, they added on CRM, they would go to projects or warehousing and automate their businesses. And so that growth and expansion piece of it was really about the suite. Right. Then the third piece element, though, that Oracle really helped us focus on is the expansion of the ecosystem. And that's the partner community. Today we're probably live and vibrant in 175 countries around the globe. But the partner community really extends NetSuite that step further. Whether they're helping us market to all of Main Street or to Wall Street, they could be helping us develop solutions. Partners develop solutions. We have, even within Oracle, if you look at police and fire and state and local, Oracle has developed a government solution on top of NetSuite for that particular area. And then the last part of partners is helping us implement. So how do we construct or deploy and really ensure that the customers can use the applications? Right. And that's been part of the focus within Oracle and NetSuite is how do we take the best and scale that everywhere around the globe?
It's been interesting to watch how NetSuite has evolved from being a pure application provider to more providing an entire ecosystem now and third-party developers now opening up the ecosystem, which is, I imagine, allows you to open up different markets that maybe you didn't pursue in the past.
Right. I think that has been one. I think the Oracle, if you think about the strategy we have now, one Oracle has some of the best technology in the world. I mean, if you think about, we have our own data centers. Inside the data center goes our hardware. Inside that hardware goes the database. Inside of that goes the application, then the sales, then the optimization, all the technologies that go around that. So for Oracle's kind of like how we differentiate today within NetSuite is we're taking all the best technologies that Oracle has developed. I think it's been about $70 billion in R&D since 2012 and over $100 billion in acquisitions. So if you think about it, we're the incubator that takes all this great technology that Oracle has, packages it up, and brings it to our segment within NetSuite. And so some of those examples is we take OCI, great technology for infrastructure, the autonomous database. The new market intro we just released was HIPAA and healthcare. So Oracle's been big into healthcare for a while. The Cerner acquisition, we got additional investment to then get HIPAA compliant within NetSuite and using that now within OCI and NetSuite and for all the tools. Right. The last big one, though, that's probably the most exciting is all of the AI services that are coming within one Oracle. And I kind of look at that, if we look at a city, AI to me is more like the electricity that goes into everything you do. You wouldn't buy a house without electricity. You probably wouldn't buy a car unless it had four wheels or air conditioning. And for us, the way we look at it from a NetSuite perspective is AI has to be in everything we do. It has to be about automation. It has to be about doing things, doing more with less, and ultimately helping these businesses grow.
Right. So a lot of people watching this video are considering NetSuite and comparing NetSuite to other ERP solutions in the marketplace. How would you summarize for those watching just how NetSuite fits into the marketplace and how you're different from your competitors?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of competition today, and there is a lot of incubators to there's a fewer larger companies. And I think one of the big differentiators that Oracle NetSuite has is our breadth of solution. we believe that the best companies have the best data. And if they have the best data, they have the better insights to run that piece of it. And so one of the big areas that we've been focused on is how the suite or NetSuite can run a business, not just from HCM, but to your financials, to CRM, your warehousing. It's got to be about your AI platforms, your business intelligence. So that whole nature of the suite. The second one is around the industry preference that we have. We serve products companies that actually move and do a supply chain and make products. And we also have the services arm that are selling time and projects and resources. But the differentiator there has been product companies wanting to become service companies and service companies wanting the product functionality as well. And having one suite that can do both, we've got thousands of stories of customers that have scaled. Drink companies that were selling one-off cases to drink companies now that are selling subscription for home delivery. Right. And then services firms that were selling time and people now are selling time people with a fixed asset to go with it.
Right.
So that whole suite has been like one of the big areas. The last one has just been scale. I think you talked about the ecosystem and partners. I don't think you'll find in the marketplace many people that don't have NetSuite expertise. And that's good for all the companies that are acquiring technologies, but they know that they've been there, they know how to use it. And all of our customers on one version, it's really transportable for the employees that they're hiring as well. Right. That's been really the secret sauce.
Great. Well, I appreciate you taking time to share the story with me and share the city here with me. And
this is going to be one of our big campaigns you'll see out here from Main Street to Wall Street. We've got it all inside of the suite.
That's great. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks
again.
You bet.
So I'm looking forward to more conversations here. Who's lined up next for us to chat with?
I'm going to take you to Brian Chess, who's our Senior Vice President of Technology and AI.
Okay. AI is a hot topic, so it'll be fun to talk about with
Oh, yes. There you go.
All right. Thanks. Brian.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Thanks for having me.
Come on in, sit down.
Thank you. So, Brian, how would you describe your role at NetSuite?
Well, my title is Senior Vice President of Technology and AI. And both of those sides need a little bit of unpacking. So technology first. So I'm responsible for everything that puts NetSuite in the cloud. So that's everything related to security, reliability, performance of the application. Technology is more than that, though. It's also all of the NetSuite technology stack. So the way we make use of the database, the way we make use of the Java programming language, everything that happens behind the scenes that let us build NetSuite. And then there's the stuff that's visible to the customers too, and that's all of the ways that you extend NetSuite, build your own applications, customize, configure, integrate NetSuite. That's all part of technology. Right. And then as of last year, AI too. Now, we've been doing AI work for a long time. But that AI work was kind of scattered across the organization until last year when we said, oh, this is going to be a big thing. So we want to bring that together, bring the people who are working on AI into a central organization so we can really empower the rest of the organization to be building our AI future.
Right, right. So you've been at the company for a long time now, what, 20, 25 years?
I started in 99, so it's been a while. But I took a little bit of time off in the middle there. I left and came back.
Okay, you had a little detour and came back. So what changes have you seen? I imagine over 20 plus years, close to 25 years, you've seen a lot of change. What are the biggest changes you've seen at NetSuite?
Well, I think, let's see. I think I'll go for three. And maybe the first one is the one that everybody takes for granted now, and that's why I want to talk about it. And that is ERP on the web worked. That was not a foregone conclusion in 1999. There was no reason to think that this internet thing was going to go somewhere or that this is how people were going to want to consume software. But NetSuite, NetLedger at the time, was actually first. We were the first ones to build a cloud application. Mark Benioff likes to take credit for it and say it was Salesforce, but we were there first by a couple of months. Right. And so I'm pretty proud of that. And it was a real revolution in terms of the way now we lead our lives. People expect to consume a lot of different things over the internet. And I think ERP has become a pretty standard thing to consume. And we've been watching that whole path. So let's see, what else? That was one big change. I think the next big change that happened for us was the Oracle acquisition. So we were independent NetSuite for a very long time. Obviously, we were very friendly with Oracle that whole period because Larry Ellison was involved from the beginning. But then when we were acquired by Oracle, it really changed the relationship. And I'm sure, as everybody knows, not every acquisition works out. I've been a part of a number of acquisitions on both sides of the equation, being acquired and acquiring companies. And so I've got a lot of experience with it. This acquisition is by far the standout in terms of us helping Oracle to be a cloud company, which is what we are now, and it is even more so our future. And then coming the other way is all the ways that being part of Oracle has benefited NetSuite, which includes, I'll give you one example. We just finished last year moving all NetSuite customers onto Oracle Cloud infrastructure. So we used to run all of our own hosting. Now everything is public cloud, and it's all through OCI. And that's a fantastic deal for us. It's a fantastic deal for our customers too, because it lets us do things that we were just never going to be able to do as an independent entity. And I'll give you an example. We let customers pick their own upgrade date. When do they want to go to the next version? They can just tell us when it is, and that's all enabled because we're built on Oracle Cloud infrastructure. And then I think the third major transition that I wanted to talk about was one we're in the middle of right now, and that is AI. AI is going to change the world in at least as profound a way as the web did. Right. How exactly does it work out? Well, in 1999, we didn't know exactly how the web was going to play out, and I'd say that's where we are now with AI. Which is, we know it's big and we're in the midst of that transformation.
Right. And it seems that AI is probably more certain than the cloud was back in '98 when NetSuite started.
Well, there are certainly more people trumpeting it now than there were about the web in '99. And I think with some good reason. I mean, there's a lot of promise there, but there's a lot of change that has to take place before people can take advantage of what AI has to offer. Right. And so I would say maybe it's a little more heralded, but it's still going to be a transition for society.
Right. So speaking of that transition with AI, what are you guys doing? What are some of the things you're working on within the world of AI, or some of the things you're most excited about?
Well, I mean, I think the first question a lot of people have about AI is they've read newspaper articles about it, and they're like, it's really cool that a computer can write a poem now, because computers were never very good at poetry before. But I'm not in the poetry business. So what exactly is AI going to do for my business? Right. And so we break that down into two categories. We talk about giving advice or being an advisor. And an example there is we can really peer into all of the data that's collected because we're a suite. We have a very good understanding of what's happening in the business. And we can do things like, hey, sales rep, you might want to sell this product to that customer because we see that they're probably going to be responsive to it, because we can look at all the products, we can look at all the purchases, we can look at all the customers. And so we can give that kind of advice based on insight. And then I think what people are talking about these days, productivity, or what we call assistance. Right. We can just make it easier to get the job done. And so a feature that we released last year is Text Enhance. It's a generative AI feature where we can take some text. We know the context of that because it's part of a larger transaction or a larger business flow. And we can help people enhance that text given the context of the application. And so we're really excited about being part of that generative AI.
Right. Yeah, that's very cool. Very exciting stuff. And something else that's exciting that sometimes gets overshadowed by AI because there's so much focus on AI, which is important. But another important trend, in my opinion, on the technology side is the fact that NetSuite has sort of evolved from not just being an application and a software provider company, but also a platform that other third-party developers can create and innovate on. So tell us a little bit about that. Do you consider yourself a software company, a platform company, or both? Or tell us about that.
I think most of our customers come to us for our applications because they've got a specific business problem that they want to solve, and we help them do it. So applications is why people show up. And then what they discover is that we're immensely configurable, customizable, integratable into flows because we're on the web. Evan Goldberg likes to tell this story. He likes to talk about the first thing he did when he decided that he was going to start then NetLedger. He went out and bought an accounting book. And the reason he did that is because that wasn't his background. And so he needed to learn about that. But I'll tell you what was his background: building extensible database-based systems. Because he got started in his career, he cut his teeth right here at Oracle. And so that came pretty naturally to him. So that combination of business applications plus a tremendous amount of flexibility so you can take those applications and make them what you want them to be, or build your own applications.
Right. That's great. So when you think about, AI and applications and platforms and all the stuff that you guys are doing and working on, what are some of the technological advances that you're most excited about in the future? Looking forward, what are some of the most exciting things? I'm sure AI is on the list, but what else are you excited about?
Yeah, when I'm not thinking about like how are we going to use AI to serve our customers, I'm thinking about how we're going to use AI to serve ourselves. So I'll tell you about one thing. So I already mentioned that we completed the transition to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure last year, and that's a real milestone for us. The next thing we're going to do is take as much advantage over being in OCI as we can. And so the big project we're working on right now is moving our customers over to Oracle Autonomous Database.
Okay.
And Oracle Autonomous Database means easier patching, easier maintenance. It's like having a robot database administrator for every single customer. So there's a lot of advantage there. How is that powered? It's more AI. So I think that's the project that I'm looking forward to most right now.
That's great. That is exciting stuff. Well, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for having me here today.
Well, thanks for having me, Eric.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. So what is this building here? This is a little bit off campus. It's on campus, but it's a little bit off.
Across the street here, yeah. So this, believe it or not, is a school. This is called Design Tech or D-Tech, as we refer to it, and is, to my knowledge, the only school on a corporate campus. It opened in 2014. It's a charter school. We have a partnership with them, and it's really a focus on design.
Okay.
So pretty cool that we have this campus on our campus, and I believe we even have some graduates of D-Tech who are now Oracle employees.
So it's kind of training the future employees in the tech space, including at Oracle?
Exactly.
What age is this school for?
High school.
Okay. Right. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know of any other software vendors that have that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it opened in 2014, so It's been almost 10 years in, or 10 years in exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So this picture looks important. What is this?
Yeah, so this is December 20th, 2007, when NetSuite IPO'd on the stock exchange. And you'll see right here is our founder, Evan Goldberg.
Oh, great. Very cool. Exciting moment, I imagine, for him.
Very much so. Very much so. And then this photo here was actually, the top photo there is 1998 when NetSuite was founded by Evan and the three other co-founders. And our first office was above a hair salon next to a liquor store. And so this was kind of a famous photo. And last year, we celebrated our 25th anniversary. So the four founders recreated the photo in this spot where there's now a wine store instead of a liquor store.
The same scene of the crime they returned to 20 years later.
That's right. They look the exact same, too.
Right. So speaking of Evan, you've set up some time for us to go meet him, right?
Indeed, I have.
I'm looking forward to chatting with him.
Yeah, let's go.
Evan, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
All right, looking forward to asking you some questions here.
I'm looking forward to answering them.
Great. So, Evan, how would you describe your role and what you do day to day here at NetSuite?
Well, my title is Executive Vice President of NetSuite here at Oracle. And so I'm responsible for the development and delivery of the NetSuite service, as well as our customer success organization and the organization that sells NetSuite.
Great. So if you were to summarize, how would you summarize for us what the general strategy and direction is of NetSuite as a company?
Yeah, I mean, it's remained very consistent over now almost 26 years. I mean, we're really just helping entrepreneurs succeed. And entrepreneur is kind of, I'd say that's a term that refers to anybody in a business that's, trying to build something great. And so we try to give these entrepreneurs the tools that they need to be able to grow effectively and efficiently and achieve their visions.
So how, in general, is NetSuite differentiating itself from other competition in the marketplace?
And again, this has been something that's been consistent from day one. I mean, we really try to give organizations everything that they need to grow. And so it's not just sort of your core financial management, but really the bulk of your operational processes. Whether you're a company that delivers products or a company that delivers services, everything from the original acquisition of the customers, growing your customer base, delivering your product and services, hiring and empowering your employees, and then, of course, at the end of the day, optimizing your cash and your profits.
Right.
And so that we help you manage that full cycle of activities as a business is really our key differentiator.
So what I find super fascinating about NetSuite, in addition to the fact that you focus on entrepreneurs and small businesses and making them successful, giving them the tools they need to succeed, is also just looking at your role as a cloud pioneer software vendor. You started this company in the cloud back in '98 before it even had a name. How did that materialize? I mean, now it sounds like no big deal. You're in the cloud. Everyone's in the cloud. But You guys started back when no one was. How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I started the company with Larry Ellison, and he really was the visionary behind that. He really felt that that's the way the world was going, and that's proved to be true, that smaller organizations, and we really handle, organizations of a variety of different sizes. They may start small, but they grow. And so many of our organizations become mid-sized organizations or even enterprises. But none of these organizations, especially the smaller ones, but really none of them want to have to deal with the complexities of managing software and operating systems and hardware and networks and all of that. And so this notion that there'd be a way for sort of a professional organization to take that off your hands, from Larry's perspective, that was sort of inarguable. And so it was great to be able to build a company from the ground up with that notion in mind, that what we really are providing is a service. We're not providing software that we sort of throw over the transom and sort of dare you to use it, but we're providing a service day in, day out that you can rely on without you having to become an IT expert.
Yeah, and back to the competition question, how you guys compete against other ERP vendors, where does that put you in the marketplace against all these other vendors that are just now trying to move from on-prem to
No, exactly. I mean, I think now you can't, it's really the price of admission that you have to be offering your software as a service. But the benefit we have is, 26 years of doing this and the accumulated experience, because we've seen it all. And, that comes out, I think, in our great reliability, high performance, and all the things that we've been able to accomplish just by trial and error over many years.
So did you and Larry ever wonder if the cloud was really going to take off? Because it did take some time for it to really get traction, momentum, and you guys stuck with it the whole time.
No, he was like, he was an absolutely true believer in his own theory. And again, he was right. It took me a little bit longer. I understood it in theory, but it really took us building the first version of our system and me seeing that I could get information about my business anywhere, anytime, in a consolidated view in my browser. And eventually, we didn't look at stuff on our phones back then, but we could see that was sort of where things were going. And so when I saw that for the first time, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to work.
Yeah. And you guys sort of pioneered that dashboard concept and some of the things that we take for granted now because it's just the way things are. But you guys were really pioneering that dashboard concept and the accessing data from anywhere sort of concept.
Well, I mean, it was what I always wanted. And, I did a company before NetSuite. It was sort of my mandatory Silicon Valley failure. And that was what I always wanted when I ran that company, was just one place I could go to get all the key information I needed about my business. And instead it was scattered among a bunch of different tools. And that's a problem that impacts organizations of all sizes, not just smaller companies. And so that's what we've seen, in all of our, array of companies of all different sizes, that they really appreciate getting rid of what we call sort of the hairball of everything either not connected or connected with, shoestring and baling wire, and instead having sort of one place they can go where they get everything they need to know.
So obviously Oracle was founded by Larry, and Larry was also involved with the founding of NetSuite, and then Oracle bought NetSuite. So Larry's always been involved with NetSuite, but Oracle didn't really officially own NetSuite until several years ago. How has that acquisition changed NetSuite's overall strategy and direction, or has it?
Yeah, I don't think it has in any substantive way. In fact, I know it hasn't in any substantive way, but what I can say is that it's allowed us to really focus even better on sort of what I'd call our wheelhouse of these fast-growing companies that have huge dreams, and they're getting really complex, and their founders or owners or leaders are kind of drowning under a ton of complexity. And so focusing on that group of companies, and there's not necessarily an exact definition of who they are, but they've grown beyond a few people, and they've maybe moved, their market has changed, they're selling internationally, or they have subsidiaries, any of these sort of additional complexities, that's when NetSuite takes over. And so being able to really, really focus on that group, because Oracle has enterprise software for very large enterprises. So that's really allowed us to get even better for our target market. And in addition, we've been able to collaborate with colleagues at Oracle that are doing incredible things in the world of analytics, in data centers and infrastructure, and many other different areas that we couldn't do ourselves. We're collaborating with them on the next generation business user experience, which I'm really excited about. So that's, it's really just it's accrued to NetSuite's benefit, and more importantly to our customers' benefit.
Yeah, seems like it's sort of adding fuel to the fire of your growth with the combination of the two companies now.
Absolutely.
So looking to the future, in the next, say, 3 to 5 years, where do you see NetSuite going? What's on the roadmap? What are you excited about? What are you looking forward to?
Well, we're really excited about everything going on at NetSuite, but it really, the stuff that we're super focused on and that I think is going to deliver the most value to our customers is, as I mentioned, our collaboration with Oracle, with others at Oracle on the next generation business user experience powered by AI. We've seen, as everybody else has, the power of these next generation AI tools. We've been working in AI for many years before ChatGPT arose, but now we have this incredible power sort of at our fingertips, and figuring out how to integrate that into that next generation business user experience. People are expecting. They expect to be able to come in and use these tools as effectively as they're using all the rest of the technology that they're using in their lives. And that hasn't always been the case. I mean, people, employees that are digital natives and that have grown up with phones, they want to use their phones in their business. They want it to be super easy. They want it to be connected. All those things we're going to be bringing to the business user over the next few years. And really excited about that.
Right. So AI is exciting, and it's cool to think about some of the stuff that you guys had already been working on, that's sort of leading up to this big movement towards AI with machine learning, and cloud obviously is an enabler of AI.
Yeah, I mean, these tools they have been around to advise and assist. And the advice in the past, it was more DIY. You had to kind of extract the data from the system to some degree. It could show you charts and show you reports, but the meaning behind it was sort of left to you. But now with next generation AI tools, it can go deeper into the data and really see those patterns and unearth those patterns for you to evaluate and decide, wow, this might be really meaningful for my business. And similarly on assistance, I mean, automation has always been a goal of business systems, but the next generation of automation can really anticipate what you might want to do, can figure out which things it can do in the background, which things it needs to show you in an intelligent way based on patterns, based on how you're using the system, and can just help you use the system more effectively. So it's powerful technology, but ultimately leading to the same results that we always wanted to have, to make it easier to run your business, to make it more effective and more efficient, to grow your business and achieve your vision.
Right. So bringing it all full circle, looking to the future and thinking about the next several years in this space, what keeps you up at night as it relates both to NetSuite as a company, but also just the ERP enterprise tech space in general?
Yeah, well, I guess, I always want to be confident that we're leveraging all the technology that's out there, that we are understanding our customers as well as we possibly can. And it's really what we're about is bridging those two things. What are our customers' deepest problems? And how can we use the latest technology to solve them as effectively as possible? It's, I think a lot of technology companies maybe sometimes make the mistake of putting that in the wrong order. Here's some great technology. Let's see if we can fit it into some problem that the customer has. But instead, we're kind of trying to take the approach of going to our customers, what are you struggling with? And then seeing if maybe there's some technology that we can fit it to, or maybe it's just adapting what we already do to make it better. So it's kind of a combination of listening to what's happening in the world, in the technology world, making sure we're not missing anything there, and making sure we're listening to our customers and making sure we're not missing anything there.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time today and sharing some of your thoughts and insights. Really appreciate it.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Great. Good seeing you again. Thank you.
Good to see you.
So this is a nice facility here. What exactly is this used for?
This is our conference center, so primarily used for executive meetings, all hands, conferences. We do some external meetings here as well. We have a big auditorium that seats about 450. And then also in this space are 2 broadcast studios. So full capability broadcasting studios, which is pretty cool and comes in handy.
Yeah, especially in marketing. I imagine you use it a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so who's next on the agenda for me to chat with?
Next, I'm going to take you to Vinay Intwala, who's our RVP of Customer Success, and his team ensures our customers are successful post-implementation.
Great. Well, that implementation's just as important as the technology, so it'd be great to chat with him and learn more about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Eric, likewise, nice to meet you finally in person.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have a seat.
Yeah, thank you. So Vinay, tell me a little bit about your role and what you do at the company.
Sure. My role at the company. So my official title is Regional Vice President of Customer Success.
Okay.
Right? What does that really mean? So customer success at NetSuite, I'm sure you've heard the term, but at NetSuite, what we're really focusing on customer success is really all things the customer requires on their journey of NetSuite. So what we're talking about is as soon as that customer decides that NetSuite is their vendor of choice for ERP, it's the team that gets involved with specifically looking at implementing NetSuite, the implementation team, the education team, essentially our managed service. So all things that we call our customer journey is what we really define customer success as. Now, all that said, what's my role? The role that I have is really with our customers when they go after they are live. So post go live is where myself and my team get involved. It's really trying to help the customer understand how they can utilize NetSuite, further extend the product, and really get and maximize the most use out of the product is when they get myself involved. So whether it's implementing a new module like NetSuite Planning and Budgeting, or whether it's looking at extending NetSuite using our managed service for their term on NetSuite, these are the times where my team gets involved and helps really with focusing on the install base throughout NetSuite.
Right. So when you look at some of your customers that are the most successful ones, the ones that have most successfully deployed the software and gotten the most value out of NetSuite, what are some of the things that you and your team are doing or seeing that your clients are doing to make them more successful?
This is a great question because literally, if you come, we're in the Bay Area, so you can go down the 101 and you see all these customers that are on NetSuite, right, just on their signs. And I got to speak to a customer yesterday, and they've been on NetSuite since 2009. Right, and I was part of the implementation team, and we had some conversations because I'm still friends with some of those folks. So I was thinking about this question as to, all right, why are they so successful at this point? So there are a couple things that I would say. One, there is this thirst and there is need for continuous improvement, right? So if you look at our customers that are a little bit bigger in terms of and more mature on the platform, they are always looking at how do I change my business processes? My business is moving in a different direction, whether it's merger and acquisitions, whether it's releasing a new product line. They're always trying to figure out what can I do differently in NetSuite. So they're constantly looking at opportunities to maximize their use of NetSuite, right? These are our more mature customers. If you take a look at the customers that we have today, so I think, Eric, we probably do about 2,000 implementations, just NetSuite alone. And when you look at those customers that are now just coming on board, it's really what I would call our Suite Success methodology, right? And I think you've heard of what Suite Success is. But not only do we use it as presenting to customers, this is what we're going to do, but this is how we actually implement as well. We've got a methodology when it comes to Suite Success as well. And really what we're talking about is, all right, NetSuite is a 25-year SaaS-based ERP company. We've implemented thousands or tens of thousands of customers at this point. We've implemented across multiple industries, multiple sizes of customers, and we've been able to take what we've learned and build leading practices on them. So when I see these newer companies in terms of their success, it's basically saying, okay, NetSuite, what have you done? What works well in your area of whether it's fulfillment, whether it's billing or order fulfillment in terms of the pick, pack, ship process, right? All of these things are asking, what are the leading practices that you have? And those that adopt them and really understand, okay, this is what we're going to start with, and then realize once we start using the system, things may change, kind of back to continuous improvement. Then they're actually using the system to leverage it to extend it further, look into the different modules. So this idea of first starting with Suite Success or like our leading practices, and then kind of looking at what can I do next? What are the opportunities that we can do? And the third thing I would say is I'm a big fan of education, right? Often I used to implement SAP before I came to NetSuite. And, it was project team training. That's what we do first. And then we would do end user training just before the users were going live. And really what we've realized here is it doesn't stop there. So it's providing our users the ability to get to access to content about learning new modules, providing them opportunities to hands-on keyword type of learning, how this module works for them, what are the benefits, giving them resources that can answer questions with regards to how they want to extend the product. So it's all this education that is ongoing through their journey on NetSuite that also has been beneficial to the customers that we see very successful.
Right. Now, that's great stuff. And when you think about some of the challenges that customers face, I mean, what are some of the common themes that you see when you see customers that they're surprised by something that's a little bit more difficult than they thought, or some of the common pitfalls they might run into?
I'm thinking of this because I'm trying to. There are so many, right? But I want to synchronize this and put this into a few. One is the idea that my legacy application did this. Why can't NetSuite do this, right? And it takes. This is really change management we're talking about now, but the reality is, you've got to be able to be willing to look at what were you doing in your legacy application and trying to replicate that in a new ERP, in this case, NetSuite. Does that really make sense, right? Was it something that you're doing because it was a level of comfort and that's why you're doing this, but not necessarily the thing that'll make you more efficient and cost effective when you move to a new ERP. So that is definitely one that I would say comes up the most, right? The idea, and you've probably heard this with your clients, but this is how we used to do it, and this is how we've done it for the last 10 years, right? That's what we want to do. No one can explain why. Yeah, exactly. But Bill and procurement's been doing this, and it's always been right? That type of thing. So I think that's number one. Number two is probably the cost containment factor, right? We all want the Bentley to start off with an ERP, right? But it's okay to start off with the Honda and then eventually evolve to that point. And what I mean is start with your core processes and the things that work well, what you're trying to do in the system. And then eventually you can evolve NetSuite to meet all the future enhancements that you're looking to do, right? This idea that everyone wants to do this, and it would be so cool if we can do this. And what if we automate this process? And then at the end of the day, do we really need it right now? Right. So the idea is you because then we get into additional costs, additional scope. And then the idea is, did that implementation that should have taken 4 months, now we're into 7 months, and then if there's a cost impact. So those types of things we really try to help our customers with. Do you really need all of this right now? Let's try to get into what your core processes are that are important, leverage what we have, see if that works for you. And then if we need to evolve, we certainly can, right? And those are things, probably the two biggest things that I see definitely in with our customers at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, making sure you're not biting off more than you can chew,
Exactly.
and trying to boil the ocean overnight, that sort of thing. So when you look at your customers and some of these risks and challenges they face, what is it you guys are doing on your team to help mitigate the risk? And what are some of the most successful risk mitigation factors that you've seen?
Yeah, so definitely the importance of project management, right? Project management, program management, project governance, whatever you would like to call this. But the idea that you as my customer, and we as the implementation team have a set goal. And that set goal, I mean, from a NetSuite perspective, our goal is to get you implemented on time, on budget, right? And hopefully that also aligns to what your goals are. And so the first and foremost is ensuring that we've got correct project management in place, ensuring that we agree to this, ensuring what we understand what the scope is, all of that being defined up front, and everyone on board helps with ultimately what I think in terms of delivering on time and on budget, right? Point number one. I do think trying to keep things in the box, right? So we talk about scope creep quite a bit as well. And then that also having conversations with our teams, our project teams, our project sponsors, whoever they may be, to ensure that they also understand, okay, do we need this right now? Is this mission critical? Is this something that will prevent you from operating if we go live, right? And those types of things that we really work together collectively with the team, having ongoing conversation, ongoing dialogue to figure out what is best for our customers, right, in terms of moving forward. And also, we provide various delivery models to help with our customers. We have customers in various sizes, right? We have a customer that may be the CFO, the CEO, the CTO, and the procurement person, the accounts receivable person, right? Just a one-person shop, right? The way that we implement that type of customer versus a customer that has locations in 150 different countries, has 3 different shared services that are processing all their payables and the receivables, it's a different approach that we're going to have with them. So providing a solution that is cost-effective, maximizes the use of our consultants, their resources based on the size and type of customers also helps with regards to mitigating some of the risks that we have in implementations, and also providing what I would say is the customer experience that they would like as part of an implementation, right? For some of us, for some of our customers, this is their first time implementing an ERP solution, right? And they don't really have their wherewithal to understand some of the ups and downs, let's say, of an implementation, right? As some other of our bigger customers who've implemented other softwares or could have their own professional services team that does implementation. So definitely aligning our resources, aligning our implementation philosophies and methodology to align to the type of customer that we have, whether it's an emerging customer or one of our enterprise level customers, I would say.
So, with this risk and with some of the implementation challenges and success factors we've talked about, it sort of operates under the assumption that we're moving towards a finite one-time go-live event. But a lot of the value, as you know, comes after implementation. So what is it you guys do to help NetSuite customers get value, not just up until go-live, but post-go-live as well?
Yes. All right. So now you're in my wheelhouse, right? So here's what I would say, and I'm very proud to say this. We have taken a look at this over the last 4 to 5 years and really go through a transformative process internally to understand exactly what you said. A go-live is only a milestone, right? It's simply one stop in the process or one step in the process of utilizing NetSuite throughout their entire journey, right? And in that journey, you're going to see potentially an IPO, which we've seen quite a bit of, a merger and acquisition, divestiture, new product lines rolling into different countries, going from an e-commerce to a brick and mortar type of environment. So all of these things, how do we help our customers get to the next stage in their life cycle? And so NetSuite has taken a look at this. We've taken a look at our customers, and there are a few things that we have done. Some of it we've included as part of your license subscription. Some of these are additional services that our customers can leverage. The first thing that I think is probably one of the most transformative areas that we've looked at is we've introduced this role of a customer success manager. So think about any customer that goes live. After they have gone live, we assign a customer success manager to stay with that customer for up to 12 months after go live. So I got to imagine you've seen enough of this where the customer goes live 2 months later, like, oh, how do I close my books? Right? How do I close my books? Yeah. I can't. I forgot how to create a payment. So this CSM is exactly what they're there for, right? The customer success manager. It's the idea of giving the term, I think a colleague of mine uses, a concierge, right? Having the ability of our customers to leverage this CSM to ask specific questions about, okay, how do I do this? This is what's happening. And these CSMs have the ability to look at the usage, the adoption. And, when we talk about change management, the best factor of change management is understanding what the user adoption is. How many more transactions are they creating? How many new users are creating transactions? So they are working with their CSMs to really understand how to further maximize NetSuite upon go live or after go live. And in doing so, we have 2 new releases a year. They may not know what these new releases are, but the CSM will, and be able to say, you know what, come this September when we release 2024.2, this feature would make sense for you, and this is why it would make sense for you. So it gives them a level of comfort, warm blankets, concierge, whatever you would like to consider. But we've seen tremendous success in allowing our customers to have access to these CSMs to basically hold their hand until they feel comfortable.
Yeah, and to take the training wheels off eventually.
Exactly. So the CSM program has been a significant release for us, I think, over the last 2 years in terms of helping our customers. Obviously, education, as I mentioned before, right? So we are looking at education as continuous as well, post-go live. So great, we got your end users trained, but we want you to understand that there is learning labs that we've put. So you've attended SuiteWorld. I've seen your videos, right? We've taken SuiteWorld and we've taken it on the road, so to speak, and we've called them learning labs. And they are almost across North America. I think we've even done one in Mexico now, where we've realized customers are craving content. And at SuiteWorld, all of our content around learning and education is always sold out. So we're like, let's bring it to the road. And so now, with learning, we've had our LCS pass, we have our learning cloud, and it's all content that allows customers to have access to specific modules, webinars, just really learning about what NetSuite offers in terms of additional functionality that they may be looking for. And if that's not enough, we can also assign an advisor to help curate. What are you looking for in terms of your education for your users, for your onboarding of new employees that can help develop and curate program for them as well. So education has become very important. Obviously, we wouldn't be a software organization without a support organization. And so, we've evolved from just case management to now looking at our customers with language translation. So if you think about us being a global company and the different languages that our customers are actually submitting cases in, translation becomes pretty important. So our support organization has been fantastic in kind of really pushing the boundaries on the newest functionality. I mean, dare I say we were one of the first ones to use chatbots, right? And how old is that technology now? But again, and now we're moving into AI and looking at AI to actually monitor cases to help our support teams become more efficient and help them resolve cases a lot faster for our customers. So again, just kind of becoming more efficient in terms of helping our customers once they're live. And then our last thing that I'd like to mention is just managed services, right? That's become a very important thing. And what we've realized is our customers, once they are live, they need a toolbox, right? And sometimes they just don't have the right tools in their toolbox. So what we've determined or what we've decided is let's create this managed service, but give everything a customer really needs post go live and let them have access to this, right? As part of a service subscription. And so whether it is creating a report, whether it is automating a workflow, whatever it is that our customers are needing, as far as I'll go if a customer's going public, and if they need help with regards to how do NetSuite customers that are public, what are they doing? How are they creating their segregation of duties? How are they filing for all the SEC reports that they're doing? What are they doing in the system? The managed service, we've built people who have this skill set so they can have access to them to help them with all these types of questions that they may have. So the idea here is, over the last 3 to 5 years, this has been the trend sort of part of our customer success organization is, let's just not focus on the go live. It's really helping our customers unlock the suite the minute they're live through however long they stay on NetSuite, right? And hopefully multiple decades.
Right. Getting long-term value out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time today. I appreciate you sharing your insights and some of the success stories that your customers are having. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. It's been fun having this conversation.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. So who's up next? Who are we going to chat with now?
We are going to Katty Colson, who is Vice President of Business Technology Services. So she runs NetSuite on NetSuite.
Okay. So the back-end infrastructure for the back-end infrastructure.
Exactly. We run on NetSuite, and she makes it all happen.
Oh, very cool. It'll be really interesting.
Yeah.
Hi, Kat.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming to visit us.
Absolutely. So, Kat, thanks for being here today. Tell me a little bit about you and your role. What do you do here at NetSuite?
Oh my God, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our home. I am the Vice President for Business and Technology Services here at Oracle NetSuite. And that, in simple terms, means I am responsible with my team of the productivity, efficiency, and user experience of our employees, but also business functions. And I have a variety of teams, business teams, technical teams. I think the most notable is we own our own implementation of NetSuite to the service of Oracle NetSuite.
Right. I'd be a little surprised if you told me that you use a different ERP system.
Yes, I
other
would be
than
very
NetSuite.
surprised as well. Another part of my role here at Oracle NetSuite is serving in the Latino ERG, the Employee Resource Group. I joined since I started working here, and I am today the executive sponsor. And I started working helping create a mentorship and leadership program because I really believe in giving back and in helping bring up and develop the next generation of leaders.
Oh, that's very cool. So you used to be a CIO at another company, a non-tech company, right? At a company that uses technology.
It was at Cisco, so very much a technology company. I was there for 14 years, and my role was a regional CIO.
Okay.
And what that meant at the time was my responsibility was to represent IT in Americas, representing every single IT service.
Okay.
So what I learned there was you have to know your business.
Right.
To deliver great service, you have to understand their care about. So if you're talking to sales, what they care about. If you're talking to advanced services or customer success, engineering, and so on. So I spent quite a few years partnering, increasing my business acumen, understanding where their needs were, not just the function, but the region and locally. So what I brought with me to Oracle NetSuite when I came was, relationships are important. Understanding your business is important. Having a joint strategy, talking about architecture in a way that the architecture really represents their goals.
Right.
Because we are at the service of what they need. So we start at the top with their business goals. The operational model has to make sense to serve those business goals. And the requirements turn into capabilities have to align with that.
Right.
So when things go well is one line. When we have situations for trade-offs, we also know what the end goal is. And those trade-offs are understood on both sides.
Yeah. So you have a unique perspective, having been a CIO at a company that is a tech company, but they're a user of technologies like
Very
NetSuite.
much so.
And now you're internal at a tech company or a software provider,
Yes.
providing that same role. So I imagine you have a unique perspective from that.
Yes, and as I said, we love technology, but it has to serve the business. And for it to serve the business, we have to understand what they care about. So we have to step, what I say, over the border of, our IT world to really understand what is it that we're here for.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm always fascinated about is how the world of ERP is not just about technology. It's about business, like you said, but it's also about helping businesses do what their job is to do in the world and society. And I know you used to work at Ronald McDonald House, or you were associated with Ronald McDonald House, which the whole purpose of that organization was to provide societal good and societal impact. How does that affect the way you think about NetSuite and about ERP software in general?
Well, it makes me so proud to work here. I believe in doing good professionally, and I believe in doing good to the community. In working for NetSuite and knowing that they have the social impact, and it has been around the program since 2007. We have served a lot of nonprofits, but what we do is we bring the value of NetSuite and we help them achieve their mission, which is helping the community in a variety of ways. So for me, actively participating in a nonprofit and working for a company that believes that it is good and technology really amplifies the value that they bring to their causes, I think just fills me as an employee.
Oh, that's very cool. So what do customers need to know about some of the advantages of the cloud and SaaS operations that you and your team manage here in the back end, the back office of how NetSuite is run, as far as the benefits? What are the advantages of having someone like NetSuite host and run their technology operations?
I think there's a lot of power. From my perspective, I see the strength in combining Oracle Cloud Infrastructure with our offering, and what I see as benefits is scalability, reliability, uptime, security. Those are things that we as providers take care of. So me as the operator taking care of my customers, which is a very different business functions, I can care for, compliance, security, but also in meeting the needs of the business. So my team and I are focusing on aligning to that joint strategy that we created to help inject speed to those outcomes.
Yeah, that's great. What are some of the things that you're most excited about when it comes to NetSuite and the customers that you're serving?
I am excited today on the power of what we're seeing with combining the different offering that Oracle has, like NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, which is built on top of Oracle Analytics Cloud, and the power that we have today and what it's coming. I'm also excited on AI. I'm sure you spoke with Brian Chess about that. But what I'm really excited is on just how closely we are aligned to really inject that speed to those outcomes. And as we go in servicing our business, we have lessons learned, which we in turn can give to our teams to be part of, benefits for the product. So I think it's a whole virtuous cycle on all the goodness that is coming with the technology, that joint architecture and that joint strategy, and then just taking it to the next level.
Right. That's great. Well, I appreciate your time here today, Kathy. It's great to get your insights and learn more about you and what you're doing here.
Well, it's great to meet you in person, and we're very happy to have you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to show me around and introduce me to your executive team. This was great. I really appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate you coming, and hopefully you got to know a little bit more about us, and looking forward to seeing you at Sweet World in September.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Thanks again for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
Great. Thanks, Carrie. I've got everything else planned out, just not the intro. All right. Oracle. Let me start that over and then cut. I need to figure out. I forgot what. Great. Got
This way.
A lot of good stuff to talk about with him, with AI being such a hot thing right now.
Oh, yes. Yes, I think. No.
Damn it, I missed it.